So joining me today on Premier Gospel is an artist who has taken the music scene by storm. It almost feels like they've just popped up and completely shifted and shaken the way we know rap music. I'm talking about DC3. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. As we begin this interview, the first question has to be, what does DC3 mean? Tell us the meaning behind the name.
I'd say like the first letters DC is just my first name and my last name. The three I made it when I was younger because it used to be DC when I was like 12. And I think when I was like 14, that's when I wanted to add the three. It's just like a minor addition, but I feel like the three represents me being the youngest because I have two siblings, an older brother and an older sister, and I'm the third youngest. So I'd say that's the like whole package of the meaning behind the name DC3. Yeah.
Very cool. I like how you put that all together. And being the youngest of your family, would you say it's been your siblings that have inspired your career in music?
100%, 100%. Like with my sister, she actually introduced me to rap music because I never knew of it. And I'd say it kind of stems from there. I feel like if my sister never um showed me or I ever heard it from her, I feel like I would have never had any interest in like rap music. And with my brother, I'd say he's inspired me in terms of like us being creative together since we've been young. And he's kind of helped me get out of my shell to be more creative. Like when we were younger, we used to play with toys and different things. And it's now progressed into us wanting to do more things within the media and online and just bringing our personalities online. So yeah.
That's so cool. Well, props to bro and sis. What was the song that your sister introduced you to, or the artist?
I just can't remember. Yeah. No, I think it was a Stormzy song actually. Yeah, it was definitely a Stormzy song. I'm not sure which one because she played a lot, but it had to have been a Stormzy song. Yeah.
And what was it about Stormzy's voice or the music that made you think that I want to
I
do
feel like, yeah, I feel like it was just hearing the type of beat used and his voice being used on that type of instrumental, like just hearing something outside of because when I was younger, I used to only listen to Christian music and I was only allowed. So it was kind of like being introduced to something I've never heard before. And I just like the pattern of it and even how like even the flows and like how it just sounded very like cool at my age. Like I was like 8. So it sounded very like sick, and I've always liked poetry. So it's like hearing it in a more faster tempo and yeah, just more flowing, just sounded very cool, and I just gained interest from there.
So, what kind of Christian music are you listening to then, if that was all you're allowed to hear?
I listen to a lot of because I'm from Zimbabwe. That's where my nationality is from. I'd say a lot of Zimbabwean groups and the faith that I follow is Seventh-day Adventist. So a lot of Seventh-day Adventist groups in UK too. And yeah, I just grew up a lot around listening to music from back home from where my parents are because religion is so important in our family. So I think that was like the main point of music that we all connected to in terms of church music. Yeah.
So, you went from the kind of hymns, the gospel songs,
Yeah.
being introduced to Stormzy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was easy to just
Okay.
jump from there. Yeah.
That is so exciting. And I want to talk a bit about this being creative with your siblings because your creativity is something that definitely stands out. I absolutely love your videos where you show like the two different
Yeah.
perspectives,
Yeah.
almost like filming it and then
Yeah.
how it actually comes out. But before we get into that, we have to just talk about this explosion that's happened on social media. I was looking back and it seems like you first went viral in 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, 2020 was the year when, like, yeah, yeah. I think 2020 was the year. Yeah, it was.
And it wasn't this kind of produce kind of quality videos that
Mhm.
you're making and starring in now. This seems to just be very like raw moment, just in the bedroom, rapping
Yeah,
with your sister. Tell us a bit about it.
yeah. I feel like 2020 was like a very pivotal year for me because I think when lockdown hit, it affected all of us, like many of us as humans. So we had to kind of change the way we live and the pattern of it, and it kind of forced us to stay inside, of course, because of the virus. And yeah, I found a lot of boredom during that time because I'm so used to like hanging out with friends and just doing different things where it's like just being inside the house and not doing anything or having the ability to do anything just kind of made me feel a bit not useless, but I just felt like I couldn't do much. So I just ended up doing a lot of freestyles, like car freestyles. And there was a lot of it felt like we had a community in like the rap scene for like upcoming artists. And we used to like support each other and do freestyles. And yeah, I just kept going from there and it just didn't really stop. And then that's when now when lockdown kind of eased off and we were able to go outside, that's when I started going studio and like really writing songs. But yeah, 2020 was important for me because I was able to build quite a few supporters who were supporting the music along that time.
But to really put things in perspective for our listeners, you were probably about 14.
Yeah, I was 14, 13. Yeah.
I mean, most 14, 13-year-olds during lockdown were just happy to eat food,
Yeah.
play games with their friends, but you were genuinely like writing lyrics or writing songs and then having the confidence to share that
Yeah.
online. So from that age, you knew like you actually wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah, I'd say it was from that age because, and I feel like doing music in my family, especially rap music, or like even because I'm like from a church and that's where most of my life lies. I feel like it wasn't really a problem, but it was like a raise of an eyebrow because obviously rap music may be effective towards like, especially African tradition, like it's not really viewed as a positive thing. So I feel like last year when I started Christian rap and I made that change finally, because my parents would always say, why not just do Christian rap? And I just thought, nah, nah, nah. But I think last year when I made that change is when I saw the positive effect it has not only just on my family and how they view music, but on other people to make people know that Christian music is not just this cringy thing that you don't listen to, it's not popular, but you can actually make it listenable for everyone.
I definitely think that is something you are successfully doing. Like you're really opening up the eyes to the world, to the message of Christ, the gospel, but in your own unique way. And a lot of people all around the world have called you the British Kendrick Lamar, young Kendrick. I mean, given his reputation as an artist, his latest Super Bowl performance, do you take that comparison as a compliment?
100% because I only started listening to Kendrick Lamar like it's been 2 years now. So yeah, ever since I've been listening to him, I'd say it's definitely helped me build how I want to approach music, and he is a big inspiration to me. So I do see it as a compliment because there's no one else anyone really compares me to as much as him. So yeah, I feel like through time I'll obviously discover how I can build myself as a character and as a person too. But yeah, I do appreciate when I see stuff like that because that is someone who I do look to have the same ability of writing as. So yes, I do see it as a good thing. But I know through time I'll figure out how I want to navigate myself as an artist.
Yeah, definitely. It is a huge compliment in that sense because he is such a accomplished artist. But so are you saying it wasn't actually intentional? You haven't, it's not like you've been listening to his music throughout your whole lifetime.
Yeah, no, it literally just started. Like my brother, like there's even a story. Like well, we went to a church trip that I was dreading to go to actually, and I was in the minibus sitting next to my brother, and he just said, "Oh, just listen to one of his new albums. I think it was Mr. Around the Big Steppers," and I just listened to the whole thing, like, and then he showed me Little Sims after recent one, the No Thank You album. When I listened to both of them, like my mind, it's like I've opened a new like mindset. Like that the way I saw music wasn't the same. Because I was so that used to listening because I know a lot of UK kids listen to drill. I was so used to listening to things like nature, like UK rap. So my brain was kind of like in a cycle where it's like I don't like anything else other than UK rap because that's where I'm from. But hearing American music and like opening my mind up to it, it kind of made me want to achieve something like that. So I say it kind of yeah it came from there, and then through time naturally I just gained a lot of yeah ways that these artists do. Yeah,
Yeah, so really just listening to the music just as a listener, as a fan, and then naturally it's influenced your style. But it sounds
yeah.
like in a really positive way. And I want to hear from you. Why do you think so many people have connected with your music? Like whenever you drop a snippet of a song, it's almost like everybody stop what you're doing. DC3 has got a
Yeah.
song out. Like, why have you got this impact, do you think?
I feel like I feel like I try to I try to write in the perspective of like not like for myself. I try and make every song I release or every freestyle to be for someone. Like I try and imagine if I knew of someone called DC3 and I was like supporting him and I would wait for his previews, how would I react to like if I'm scrolling on social media, like what would make me stop and like pay attention? I try to think of that in that way. I try and make music not in my perspective, but in other people's perspectives. And one thing I do is I literally ask a lot of people around me and like strangers, what do you think of this and what do you think of that? So I kind of collect it and um get an idea of what people want to expect. And I feel like that's how that Snapchat transition into the actual cinematic thing that I've been doing recently went crazy because I knew that maybe putting something funny or like a meme and then making it into an actual edit would make a lot of people pay attention. So I feel like trying to figure out what people would pay a lot of attention to was important. And even in terms of just the music, I'd say one thing is that I try to write exactly how I feel in the moment. Like let's say any song I've released, like when I'm promoting the song and pushing it, that's exactly how I'm feeling at that time. So it's like each song in contains a different theme that people can follow and like just apply to their lives.
That is so powerful. And I really just had to take a moment as you were speaking because the reality is like you still are a teenager, but you
Yeah.
carry so much of wisdom.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
do you actually balance like studying, being in school, and just genuinely growing up, but then also having a career that's taken off?
Yeah. I'd say I'm not gonna lie and act like everything is like going smoothly. I say it is quite difficult to attend like education at the same time of doing music. But I feel like if God didn't want me to be in education as of this time, then I wouldn't be. But there's a reason I'm still here. So I feel like I actually need to keep pushing. And yeah, I've nearly finished education. So it's like I'm just trying to make sure I maintain the same level of like a studio mindset rather than just focusing on music. I need to find a balance and make sure that I'm succeeding in every aspect rather than just focusing on one thing and just make sure to make those around me proud. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm smiling ear to ear because I definitely believe that your parents, your family, the people around you must be so proud of you because you're doing an incredible job at that. And I mean, what speaks volumes is your Christian faith. And I'd love to hear more about it because so many people grow up in the church with families that make them go to church on a Sunday, but that
Yeah.
doesn't always mean that they have a relationship with God. So
Yeah.
how have you got to this place?
Um, I'd say being so close to God. Well, yeah, I'd say trying to be more closer to God. Just naturally came from me being in a church oriented family because my dad is a pastor. So it's like I couldn't really avoid it even if I wanted to. Like it's like I had to learn different things. But it got to a point where I think I was yeah, early teens and I was like in a crossroad. Like I really realized I think I was sitting in a sermon, like within a sermon, and I heard someone, I don't know who was preaching, but I think I recalled on someone saying something like doesn't mean because you're in a family of like churchgoers or your parents are doing things in the church doesn't mean you automatically go heaven or that's a pass for you. Like having a relationship with God is the only thing that matters. Like I feel like just having people around you or being in an environment um of people who do worship God is not enough. I feel like you have to learn to have your own relationship. And I feel like when I started learning, is when I realized that it's not as easy as it may seem. Like I always thought that because my dad is a pastor, my mom is like within the church, I'm always around church people that I'm kind of set off, but it does not mean anything. Like I feel God just wants you to have a relationship with him. And I've also learned to view my relationship with God as like I do with my mom and dad. Like I shouldn't just talk to God in the morning and in the night. I need to talk to God consistently throughout the day. So it's like I'm not because it's like if I was talking to my mom in the morning and the night only, it's
Mm.
like it's not really a flowing relationship. So I feel like, yeah, bringing that into my music, also involving God in my music as well, those are really important for me, and I really want to make sure I maintain that and not to lose that. So yeah.
Mm. I think that beautifully leads us into one of your key quotes: greatness takes time. Tell us a bit
Yeah.
about that.
I feel like from time to time I can be very impatient. Like I really want things to happen quick, but I feel like the main reason why I've put that out a lot and I've always said that it's just to remind myself actually, like even when I'm scrolling or something, I'll just see it pop up. Like even on my phone, like my actual phone saver, like the screensaver is literally greatness takes time. Like here, I'm not sure if you can see it, it might be blurred, but yeah, it's like I need to always remind myself because I feel like especially with music, it's like a couple of years ago, or even like a couple months ago, I used to have like the mindset of, oh, I need to make it out. I need to make sure I'm doing this and doing that. But I'm just realizing that it's just God's time. Like there's nothing much I can really do. Like I feel like if God wants it to happen, it will happen. And I feel like just moving in time and remembering that not everything is rushing and also not comparing too, because I used to compare so much even sometimes I do it from time to time. Like I feel like everyone does too, because comparison does still joy. So I feel like if you focus on what you have and um keep working on what you have, your timing will come, I think. So yeah.
That's so great. And we actually saw one of those key moments for you a couple of weeks ago when you came down to London to join Y Shady at his headline show.
Yeah.
What was that like performing with him?
And that was amazing, man. Yeah. Even for him to give me the opportunity is very like I'm just so grateful for that. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, like it was a very good chance to see how I can like I felt like me performing at that day was like I was very scared and it's like I was like it's like I'm trying to make the performance all about God and it's like you end up getting on a crossroad where it's like oh I want to make sure I'm performing well. I want to make sure this is on point. I want to make sure this song is being said well, but I feel like when you focus on giving the glory to God and it's all about God, which is what Y Shady said backstage, he just made sure that we're all focusing on that. I feel like that's what made me kind of get over my fears and just perform like I'm not performing like for anyone else other than God. So yeah, I'd say it was a very good experience and I'm very excited to do more shows. Yeah.
What was the feeling like when you're standing in front of people and they're literally singing back or rapping back your lyrics word for word?
Yeah, I was very surprised actually that some people knew lyrics. Like I always go out there thinking, nah, no one is, no one is, no one is. Just to tell myself. But it was very sick to see people even connect with the songs and just relate with them. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it. I saw lots of highlights from that show and it looked incredible. And
Yeah.
yeah, massive shout out to Y Shady because that was his headline show in London as well. So
Yeah.
it was a really special time. And you performed as well. Gets invited you down. That's major. Would you say that's
Yeah.
probably been one of your highlights?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Because even when I got the opportunity, I just couldn't believe it. Like it just didn't seem like realistic because I feel like when I see my music, it's like I've done music for at least like 6 years. Like, but looking from when I made a transition to Christian music, it feels like such a short time because it's like I had to like go through a rebirth type of thing. So I kind of not forget my past music, but it's like a new chapter now. So already for the opportunity from Gets, it just felt like so unreal. Even the performance, like I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was really just nice to kind of show my music and also share God importantly on a huge platform like that. So yeah.
What songs did you pick to perform?
I did upstairs. I did I think the Icon freestyle. I did I can't even remember, but I did an exclusive one that I saved for the end that I wrote especially for that show. And yeah, I'd say that's probably one of my best written like, up to this day because I really like how I wrote that one piece. Yeah.
That's so good. And was Gets on stage with you or was he watching?
I think he just introduced us and then he just sat down until we all finished. And then we done like a Q&A where we could all talk with Gets on the stage.
Wow. I mean, how do you go back to school or to college after that, like, and just try and be humble about that? That's massive.
Yeah, I'd say like even in college, I just try to act like it's like a new mindset. Like I try to separate music in college. Like I try act like I'm not a musician in college. I just act like a student. I try to act like a student or not to mention as much because I feel like I like to like when I look at my life, I wouldn't want everything to just be about music. I'd like to have like a different like environment. Like I just like being in different environments and me being treated differently, like not just the same or DC3 and do you know what I mean? So yeah, even just like when I'm in college, like people would notice me and I just get a bit shocked because it's like I'm here to learn. Like it's just like what? Like do you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to find a way to make sure I'm not letting it get to my head and just staying as humble as possible. So yeah.
That's awesome. But it sounds like you've got like a really great community of people
Yeah.
around you to kind of keep you accountable. And I mean, you're literally growing through it. I mean, you can't control the thousands of people that are connecting with your
Yeah.
music. So it's all great that they're hearing the message. And I'd love before you go just to hear, have you had any testimonies, since now shifting your music's message, making it about the gospel? What have been some of the messages that you've got back from people that have really met Jesus through your songs?
Feel like I feel like it's when people send stuff like it's helped me Like they're not as specific, but I think just seeing messages of people saying it's helped me through tough times. Like even today, I think someone sent me something like that. Like your music has helped me through this time I was going through my life. For me, it's like I'm just making music from the room that I'm in. Like I don't go to like big studios and like it's a big team. It's just me and my family. So I think just seeing it reach across UK too, I think it's very like nice and it makes me know that what I'm doing is good and it will help at least one person. Like even trying not to focus on numbers and just thinking one person could be impacted from this. It really pushes me. And just seeing how it's helped people through the responses and how people are just feeling about what I'm saying, I think it's giving me a lot of confidence to keep going, even if it feels like it's getting hard. Because I feel like even if I was to stop, it would definitely um minimize the chance of someone getting to know about God. I just look at my music as every time I post or anytime I mention anything to do with music, it's a chance to say God. So
Mm.
yeah, it's very amazing to see how people are from it. And yeah, my goal is just to like continue to make music for people to relate to and just like for the music to be an answer to maybe some of their problems in a way.
Wow. I think that's an amazing goal to have with your music, and to know that you're only just beginning and you've already helped so many people know Jesus. It's really exciting that you're choosing to make the songs. It's almost like your way of evangelizing,
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah.
Is really, really cool. Thank you so much for joining me today on Premier Gospel. Before you go, I mean, you have shared what the mission is, but are there any albums, any concerts for us to look forward to?
I'd say you have to wait and see. That yeah, you just have to wait and see. Yeah.
Nothing, not even like there's a new single coming out
Oh
this.
no. Oh yeah, there's actually I just posted a new snippet to a single now. It's coming out actually no, why am I saying that? But yeah, I just posted a new single snippet. Yeah, I'll be dropping very soon. But in terms of projects, yeah, I'd say you have to wait and see this year. Like all I'll say is 100% this year, but yeah, you just have to wait and see this year, yeah.